them with lemon juice.
Hey, who's there?
You overestimate his talents.
This one, I grant you, did not commit suicide.
Hello everybody, welcome back to Screenstars. I'm here today to bring you another classic film review, and today I'm taking a look at the 1986 murder mystery, The Name of the Rose. The film is directed by Jean-Jacques Annaud and it stars Sean Connery. We've got Christian Slater, we've got Helmut Quadlinger, Michael Lonsdale and Ron Perlman. Now the film focuses on Sean Connery's character, William of Baskerville. He is a monk or a friar, and he has a young man in his stead, played by Christian Slater, who is like a monk in training, I suppose. So he is learning from Sean Connery's character, and they head to an isolated abbey many centuries ago. They get to this abbey and they learn that one of the monks recently was found dead in mysterious circumstances. William of Baskerville, Sean Connery's character, is something of a genius, an intellectual, and he is very good at solving mysteries. So he agrees to take this mystery on, trying to figure out what has happened, and what he unravels is a tale of murder mystery and darkness within this abbey that he has to kind of get to the bottom of before more lives are lost. Right, what are my thoughts on The Name of the Rose? Now, this is a film that I actually watched when I was quite young. So this came out in 1986. So when this came out at the cinema, I would have been about 13, 14. And I remember watching this on VHS. I certainly wouldn't have gone to the cinema. I wouldn't have been old enough. This is one of those films that we would have rented, and I remember watching this. I've got very, very clear memories of watching this, really enjoying it, because I think this is one of the first films that I watched that, other than the Basil, Rathbone, Sherlock Holmes films that I used to watch as a kid during the school holidays. But this is like probably one of the first big screen kind of outings that I watched that was essentially a whodunit. And probably contributed to my love of like whodunit films. Today I really do generally enjoy them. And detective games as well. I like playing detective games on PlayStation and stuff. But I definitely remember watching this with my family and cringing as well, because there is quite a graphic love scene in this between Christian Slater and this village girl, I suppose you could call her. That just, I was young enough to understand what were going on, but also old enough to understand that, I'm dying inside because behind me is my mum and dad, sort of thing. So I've got very, very strong memories of watching this. And I found it quite frightening, I'd seem to remember as well when I first watched this. But it's a superbly crafted film. When you watch it as an adult with like critical eyes, you know what I mean? It just, you really appreciate the authenticity and effort that's gone into this film. I mean, it's grim, it's gritty, it's dark, it's dingy. It reminds you, of, a lot of films that you watch that kind of depict the time period that this film is set in. They almost glamorize it at times. This film makes no attempt to glamorize these times at all. It looks awful. It looks like you would definitely not like to live in these times. Really, really terrible. But it's done with such care and attention. You really feel like you're there. Now we've got Sean Connery in the lead role here, and interestingly, as daft as it might sound now, there was resistance from the studios to put Sean Connery in the lead role, because he was on a bit of a decline in his career at this point. So there was some resistance. They wanted somebody else to do it, but the director insisted. Thank goodness they did, because he's magnificent, is Sean Connery here. Absolutely brilliant as this detective monk, I suppose. I mean, I don't think it's any coincidence that his name is William of Baskerville, Hound of Baskerville. You know what I mean? He is essentially Sherlock Holmes as a monk. He even says elementary in the film. You know what I mean? It's not subtle in kind of tipping its hat towards Sherlock Holmes sort of thing. And Sean Connery is brilliant here as this monk. He is quick-witted, sharp, intellectual, quite funny at times as well. He does a really, really good job here, Sean Connery, and he is captivating on screen. Christian Slater as well, in what is probably one of his first roles, might even be his first screen role, plays this innocent monk sidekick particularly well. You know, he does a very good job. And I was reading while I was kind of researching bits of this that, you know, he had such great things to say about Sean Connery, who he said he really took under his wing and really helped him and taught him so much. And, you know, it was a great experience for him. And I have no doubt at all it was. Because you just get that impression being around this kind of culture and, you know, structure and all these great actors surrounding you. It could only be a good thing, really. And then also we've got F. Murray Abraham in this film, who had just come off the back of his Oscar win. Apparently he was a bit of an arse on set, but he plays like part of the Inquisition, a really villainous, horrible character that has got a history with Sean Connery. He doesn't turn up until well into the film, but when he does turn up, he leaves his mark on the film for being a right bastard. And then we've got Ron Perlman. Now, I remember watching this when I was young and seeing the Ron Perlman character and just being fascinated with him. And now understanding who Ron Perlman is and the character that he's playing here, what a superb performance by him. I mean, it was a really fantastic performance by him. I don't think he got enough credit for it. He probably still doesn't get enough credit for it, but he almost steals the film with his performance as this like hunchback person with, I suppose disabilities to a large degree, that anybody without a brain would assume that he is the guilty party sort of thing. But in actual fact, he's just a very simple man, you know, living in this abbey. And the film does do a good job of kind of holding the mystery, holding your interest until the very, very end. I think the only criticism really I've got of this film is its length and its pacing. It feels like it drags a little bit at times. Now, what generally still keeps your interest is the performances and the dialogue and the mystery and all this kind of stuff and the characters. It does kind of hold your interest, but there's a 20-minute lag, it feels, you know, where you're kind of thinking nothing's happening here. We're not going anywhere. It's not moving forward. But it's not enough, obviously, to sink the film, because this definitely is regarded as a classic. So, yeah, I mean, if you've never seen The Name of the Rose and you like murder mysteries, it's an absolute must. I would definitely suggest checking it out. I do believe they did a mini-series version of this, which I don't think, well, I'm fairly sure I haven't seen anyway. I may check out at some point, but I don't imagine it would be as good as this. So, yeah, an 80s whodunit, a classic. Definitely check it out if you're a fan of that. Fan of Sean Connery and all the rest. Give it a go. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. And, of course, I'll be back with more content very, very soon.